Hello, my name is Ezra Diana, and I'll be presenting this week's daily dose of Torah for Beit Midrash Zichron Dov. Week number 4, my topic will be the laws of Tzedakah. The reason for choosing this topic is because of its prominence in the upcoming Parsha. The Torah tells us in this week's Parsha, Ki yavecha evyon me'achad achecha be'achad she'arecha be'artzecha asher Hashem Elokecha noten lach. When there will be someone who is poor, one of your brothers in one of your cities, in the land which Hashem your God is giving to you, Lo te'ametzet levavecha ve'lo tikpotzet yadecha me'achicha ha'evyon. Don't harden your heart and don't pull back your hand from your brother, the poor person. Ki fatoach tiftach et yadecha lo v'havei tavitenu demach soro asher yasar lo. But rather, you should open your hand towards him and provide him with all the needs that he was lacking. Now, although the pasuk is technically speaking about a loan and lending money, and of course, psukim go on to talk about how Shemitah may come along and how a person should not be worried about giving out loans to others because Shemitah may come and cancel that loan. Nevertheless, it's quite clear from here that these are mitzvot that relate to tzedakah, the giving of charity from one person who is more fortunate to someone who is less fortunate. And what I'd like to do over this week is to expand on the laws of this mitzvah. Specifically, we're going to be using Penine Halacha, which is a halacha sefer written by Rabbi Eliezer Malamed, and we'll try to go through some of the material that he's prepared on this topic in his selection of the laws of tzedakah. First off, he notes that not only does one get a tremendous mitzvah if they do give tzedakah because of the formulation of the Torah, we also understand that if someone does not give tzedakah, if someone ignores the needs of someone who is around them, especially for financial help, as we are discussing, that's actually what we call transgressing a negative commandment or a prohibition, a lo ta'aseh. In addition to the fact that the mitzvah of tzedakah itself is so wonderful, Rabbi Malamed quotes a number of different sources throughout Jewish literature over the ages talking about the importance of tzedakah. The Talmud in Bava Batra tells us that tzedakah is equivalent to all of the other mitzvot. And we also know that tzedakah has the ability to save from death, as we learn in Mishlei, tzedakah tatzil mimavet. Of course, tzedakah also plays a central role when we cry out to Hashem asking for forgiveness on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and use the formula utshuva, utfila, utzdaka. Now, the truth is, the mitzvah of tzedakah is not any sort of, permission. It's a nice thing to do. It's optional. The truth is, the Torah says you have to give tzedakah. That's really what we've just learned. And what tzedakah does, the reason for its importance, and the reason for those who do not fulfill it being looked upon so negatively by the Talmud and again, in general, by the sages throughout the ages, is because it has the ability to save people, as we mentioned. Rabbi Malamed quotes the Mishnah in Sanhedrin, which says, "Kol hamekayim nefesh achat miYisrael ma'aleh alav hakatuv kilu kiyem olam maleh." Supporting and sustaining even one person is as if someone has sustained the entire world, and through this actually brings the world to a better place in general, and our communities around us, and brings close the Yeshua, the Geulah, the redemption, which we hope to see so soon, as the Talmud tells us based on the verse in Isaiah and Yeshaya, Ka'amar Hashem Shimru Mishpat va'asu tzedakah, that we should do charity. Ki krovai Yeshuati lavo v'tzidkati lihigalot. God says, my salvation is coming close. Now, Rambam famously formulated a list of ways in which tzedakah is most helpful, and really a hierarchy of how one should strive to give tzedakah. Rabbi Malamed, through that and through the lens of Shulchan Aruch, tries to give us a basic idea. And what he notes over here is the best way to help someone who is unfortunately struggling financially is not necessarily to provide them with the money they need, but rather to provide them with the tools they need to succeed even on their own. And he brings support for this from a verse, which is actually not in our parsha, but elsewhere in Parshat Bahar, where the verse uses language of support. And he says, for example, if someone can help someone who is, again, struggling financially, find a job that they will be able to enter into and be able to support their family with, or something along those lines, that is actually the highest level that one can do of charity, of tzedakah. In addition, he says there is a notion that we're supposed to do it in as least an embarrassing manner as possible. So if one is giving tzedakah, rather than go to the person and make them feel bad or make them feel demeaned by the fact that you're helping them out in some way financially, the best way to do it, again, is by doing it in a way which will minimize their embarrassment, minimize potentially one's interaction with them. But if nevertheless one still does get a mitzvah of tzedakah if they give money directly to a poor person, of course, even if the person feels a little bit embarrassed to be taking it, nevertheless, that's something we should strive to minimize to whatever possible.